One can no more command the power of ether by drowning in its flood than one can constrain the tides by standing in the sea. I had thought Hugo wiser than this, but it seems his head was full of rocks after all.
Titan was strong.
Your Majesty.
But Mythos is stronger. For 5 years, that man lived only for revenge. Clinging fast to a fiction, even as it swept him into the abyss. One cannot change one's nature through force of will alone. Only the Almighty can do that.
Hugo Kupka, the man who gave his life for a woman's head. A fool like all the rest.
That the death of a mother crystal should be so beautiful.
Some medicine, my lord? I have salves, potions, anything you need.
Stop bothering me, urchin, or you'll feel the back of my hand.
You must consider your health, my prince. If a show of force is needed to keep the Dalmex at bay, you may trust in your dragoons. I beg you to call on Bahamut only as a last resort. His strength comes at too great a cost.
The Empire agreed to an armistice with the Republic, and yet the Emperor still plots its ruin. For now, the Dalmex suspect nothing, and as long as I can hold their gaze, war need not be inevitable. But more than that, Bahamut is the champion of the Empire. When our people look to the heavens, the sight of him gives them hope. Forgive me, Terence. Would that you were my master. But alas.
I will always be your loyal servant.
Should the Council's brazen maneuvering prompt the Republic to tear up their own treaty and launch a new assault, our soldiers would advance to meet them, cutting across the Central Isles, but not in time to prevent their forces from breaching the southern defenses and storming Twinside. And so the capital would become a battlefield. Thousands of innocents would die. I cannot allow that to happen.
There is one small mercy, at least. You will not be forced to do battle with Titan.
Would that I could avoid doing battle at all.
1,000 pardons, Your Highness.
What is it?
Olivier has been made emperor. What is the meaning of this? My father's orders. What were they? Quickly!
Yes, Your Highness. His Radiance requests that Your Highness maintain position here and...
Ah! Terence,
Yes, my prince.
I must go to the palace.
I'll ready your steed.
What is it now?
Forgive the intrusion, Your Highness.
I know you.
At ease.
We stand in the presence of the Phoenix. You wouldn't want to get your fingers burned.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all. Though I admit, I did not expect such a distinguished guest.
How many years has it been since the Remembrance ceremony? 20?
I thought you long dead. Do I address a ghost?
Many have told me that I look like one. But no. I'm alive. Just. Prince Dion of the House Lesage, I have a tale to tell you.
Clive, you're back.
I am. And with glad tidings for once. Hugo Kupka is no more.
Well, I'll be. All of our comrades who lost their lives back at Sid's place be smiling down at you.
We had a stolus from Lubor saying Drake's fang had fallen. I expect that was your doing it.
It's
One for the history books, I'll bet.
Welcome home, Clive.
good to be back.
I feel it, which means I'm coming on your next little adventure.
Wouldn't dream of it. Otto, any, what?
Shouldn't you be putting your feet up? If you really want to know.
Thank you.
Ah, the conquering Well, the fact that you came straight to me instead of visiting our resident, the scent of
The very same. But whatever plans Kupka was hatching with the Royalists, as did his men, slaughtered by the Orcs who'd taken over the Fang. Orcs, Vivian. I've never seen such creatures since the Waluders must have ferried them over from Ash, but why? Why work to rescue Kupka only to invade his home, the mother crystal of an allied nation, and let both fall? It makes no sense.
Do you know the tale of the blind men and the One can often be led astray by focusing One must instead see the bigger picture. And what? The kingdom of Walud claims dominion over all of Ash. It is a nation forged by the bloody conquest of Barnabas Tharm, the dominant of Odin. the Canvarian War of Independence in 849, the Battle of the Twin Realms in 865, the Battle of Belinus Tor in 873. Wheresoever his armies fought, Odin was found where the fighting was fiercest. But of late, the warrior king appears to have laid his sword to rest. Battle rages for control of the crystalline dominion. Yet Tharm sends not a single ship in support of his Dhalmekian allies. Meanwhile, the Blight ravages great swathes of ash. Yet warlike Waloed shows not the faintest interest in laying claim to untouched lands. So why go to the trouble of sending an army of orcs into the heart of Drake's Fang, only to make no attempt to claim the Mother Crystal for Waloed? It can hardly be for lack of men. Tharm's armies rival any in the Twins. No. We have not seen the last of the Waloed Standard. Odin will ride again. It is but a question of when. And on that day, who will be trampled underfoot? In summary, I know not to what end the Royalist betrayed Kupka. I know only that it is part of some broader scheme. A scheme tied to the ambitions of one man.
King Barnabas.
But there is no need to wallow in confusion. If one is to cure a sickness, one must first identify the symptoms. And your Lord Uncle has volunteered to do just that by keeping an eye on the Royalists' movements.
He's really throwing himself into this.
Indeed he is. Which means all that remains for us to do is await his reports. Well, not quite all in your case. The people of the Hideaway must hear the news. Justice has been done. Hugo Kupka is dead. The wounds he left that night are still raw, especially for those who lived with Sid the longest. Tell them that those wounds might finally begin to heal. Consider it the price of today's instruction.
I've never known you to be sentimental.
What can I say? I am only human. And we are, all of us, sentimental animals at heart.
I suppose we are. Very well. I'll go and spread the word.
Well, someone looks pleased with himself.
Nothing escapes you, Lady Karen. It's true.
Good. I'm starting to get a crick in my neck. Or don't. I'm not much bothered either way.
Blackthorn.
What is it?
I wanted to tell you that...
Under a new Sid.
I'll try to live up to the name.
Ah, Clive. Have you come?
No.
Look, he's crying.
And with good reason, children. These are tears of joy. We must offer up a prayer to your parents that the heavens might weep with us. There shall be no lessons today, only thanksgiving.
All right, brilliant.
Finally.
It does.
Thank you, Clive. I cannot wait to...
Hippocrates. After Kukov, I need to know what he is.
Alas. No. And not for what, not even the sort of conspicuous absence that might suggest a concealment of fact. One is almost tempted to conclude...
But I saw him.
Alas, it seems, to others, he reveals naught. We see only that which he leaves in his wake.
A bringer of death.
Whether the Ultima you met with was the being itself, or merely... But until I do, my investigation.
Thank you. Right. Let's see if Otto has anything else for me.
You barely sat down since you came home. Vivian got you running errands or something?
Just spreading the word.
So, the Professor's got a soft side, has she? I'd never have guessed.
No. She was right, though.
Ah, but you ain't told. I can think of plenty of friends back at the old hideaway, it's not least of all Sid. Well, when you do, she's been going at it hammer and tongs down in that workshop of hers, trying to do her father proud. I can't remember the last time she visited the old sod's grave.
Very well.
Come up with something soon. All right, Clive?
I'm going to visit Sid, and I thought you might like to come with...
Sorry, I'm too busy for all. I've got to get this thermal displacement stack sorted.
Thermal.
Displacement stack.
And this is for...
Only the fastest, finest ship the world has ever seen. The Enterprise. Me and my dad designed it together. Where other vessels rely on the fickle winds to drive them through the water. Out, and those things have got more push than a behemoth in a bad mood. And more heat than all the hell. Which is where the stack comes in. I may have already talked some tight-lipped shipwrights into putting the hull together for me in a little dockyard. But the stack's a bit more involved, so I'm building it here. Thing is, it's so involved that I'm running behind and it's starting to hold things up. I'll come and see my dad, though, when I'm done. Whenever that is. Good old Clive. I were hoping you'd say that. First things first, and the stack will be made up of 3 major components. There's the plating, here, that channels hot vapors. The helm over the top, that disperses all that. And the shielding around the sides. That stops the rest of the
full? Probably best to take it one piece.
Then you'll need to start with the plating. Everything else fits onto it. I've got the designs and the list of materials here. Show these to Blackthorn. He'll know what...
I can't make head nod.
Luckily, you don't...
Blackthorn.
Out with it.
It's for mid.
This my last chance to say I'm otherwise engaged. Spare myself the ask. Go on then. What is it?
She said you would know.
Krieger's Tates. Well, I don't know what the hell you'd want this for, but I can make it. Won't be easy, though. And I'll need help. Get Gavin in here, will you?
All right.
So Mid's roped us all in here again, has she? Still, if that's what it takes to get her to visit...
And,
Take a look at this. It's this plating. The usual sword grade steel won't work. We need something that can get very hot. That means an alloy. Something that won't break or buckle, which is where you lot come in. I need materials, and I've got my work cut out already. Now, there's a special kind of sand I'm after that you can only find out in the Valcroy. Stardust. As for the rest of the stuff, my usual supply should have it in stock. It just needs buying and bringing back here.
Well, one of us should probably give you an hand collecting the sand.
And the other can go and get the rest from this supply.
Right then.
Well, make your minds up who's going where, and we can get this over with. You going after which one of these two lucky...
Otto, you're with me.
All right, then. Where do we find this stardust?
There's a river that runs through the southern reaches of the Valcroy. It's the black sand that washes up on its banks.
And I'm guessing you'll be needing sack loads of the stuff. Might be... I'll head down there. See about finding us a...
All right.
You two take care, eh?
Just don't let the bastard fleece you, eh?
He wouldn't do that. He's...
Best of luck.
Straight home now. Otto.
Oh, Clive. I had a quick scout about, and I reckon... Seems Blackthorn's the only one who thinks smithing with his Stardust stuff's a good idea. It's just lying here, waiting for any old fool to fill his boots.
But unlike any old fool, you thought to bring a wagon.
Well spotted. Now get filling.
So this is Stardust. It just looks like black sand to me. That should be enough for now. Let's see how Otto's getting on.
How much did you get?
Enough. I hope.
More than me. Put it all together and I can't see Blackthorn complaining. Much. Here, Clive. Do you fancy a walk? Sid will be proud.
Of what?
Of you, you idiot. The way you've carried on what he started. When we first met, I had you down as a spoilt little puppy who enjoyed nothing more than biting the hand that fed you. But 5 years on, you're the one doing the feeding. So thanks for proving me wrong.
You weren't wrong. But I changed. Thanks to Sid. And thanks to you. When I suggested taking on his name, you were the first to back me. And if you hadn't, no one else would have. I couldn't have done any of this without you, Otto.
Yo, give over. You're making me blush. All I did was choose hope over despair. I gave you a chance, yes, but you're the one who took it. You took a rabble of homeless, hopeless outcasts and put them back on their feet. Gave them something worth fighting for, just like the old Cid did. About time I was heading back, I reckon. All this scrabbling about in the sand's taken its toll on the old pins.
I'll see you back at the hideaway then. You can take a well-earned rest when you get there.
Oh, I plan to. Believe you me. But I'll make sure Blackthorn gets his precious black sand before I put my feet up. He'll only moan otherwise.
Right. Ready to go home, boy? Blackthorn, got everything you need?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Cheers for the stardust. Should be enough to be getting on with.
Nice to get out and about for once. Let's do it again sometime, eh?
I'll make a start on putting this thermal plating. It will take some time, mind. So if you've got other things to be getting on with...
Thank you, Blackthorn. I'll let Mid know construction's on.
Suppose we'd better be getting back to work.
Give us a shout if you need it.
We meet soon.
You'll be pleased to hear that Blackthorn started work on the plating.
Excellent. 1 down, 2 to go.
So, what's next?
The helm, of course. For this, we'll be repurposing fallen scrap.
Salvage from the ruins? I thought that material was all but impossible to work.
Ah, but we don't have to.
I'm sorry.
Just so happens there's one particular ruin that's broken into exactly the right shape and size pieces for what we need. What's the name back there? I'll give you all the details.
What's her name? Right.
Oh, Cid, is this about the helm?
Yes. Mid said I should speak with you.
I'll show you the plans then. Here you see the mithril engine, in which mithril is burned to generate heat. That heat is then harnessed to produce motive force. Excess heat is dealt with by means of the thermal displacement stack, which disperses it into the surrounding air. Now, were we to rely on thermal plating alone to achieve this effect, the rate of excess heat buildup would far exceed the displacement coefficient of the plating. In other words, the reactor would overheat and eventually explode. This is where the helm comes in. It connects to the plating, you see, and serves as a sort of thermal sink to absorb all that excess energy. Our experiments have shown that fallen ceramics are remarkably thermophilic. They can withstand and absorb levels of heat far above anything we are able to make today. And not only that, they're also waterproof and immune to rust, making them the perfect material for our protective hood. Why, if sea or rainwater were to enter the reactor proper, it would vaporize instantly. The forces produced would tear the ship from stern to...
You can stop there. I understand. Mid said we might be able to use parts of a fallen ruin. Where would I find it?
Ah, yes. It's in Lorbert's Pass, near Lostwing. The thing is, well, I probably should have arranged to have the pieces we need brought here sooner. You see, a certain unwanted visitor has taken up residence there. It's no longer a matter of just walking in and taking them. It's, going to be considerably more dangerous than that.
I see. Then I suppose I'd better deal with this unwanted visitor for you. Would that help?
Oh, very much. Thank you, Sid. I'll gather my team and head there right away. We'll meet you outside the ruins. Oh, there you are, Sid. Thanks so much for coming. The, ruins are just over there, as...
Of course. I'll be right back. Anybody home? This must be our unwanted visitor. Time to go.
Farewell.
The things I do for you, Mid.
Sid! Oh, thank goodness you're safe.
You shouldn't have any trouble now.
Indeed. Well, don't let us keep you. We'll, see that everything is transported safely back to the hideaway.
All right. I'll let Mid know you're on your way.
Don't come up with something soon.
Mid. Helena has recovered the material for the helm. She'll be along shortly.
Excellent. Another job well done.
And just one remaining.
Right. Right, the shielding. This one's a bit of a bugger.
How so?
The plating's enough to stop the engines going pop, But those things will still be spitting out enough fire to set the rest of the ship ablaze. Which is why you need proper shield, a prison for the dragon's breath that's blazing away inside. I thought a triple thick layer of tempered steel might do it. Or more of the stuff that the Fallen use, but they'd both be too heavy. The helm and the plating are bulky enough as it is. Add any more weight and the whole ship would be at the bottom of the briny before we'd even started. I need something light.
Well, if I were in need of it, I know whose counsel I would seek. Harpocrates.
Tomes? Yeah, well, I'd thought of that, obviously. I've got all the details written down here. Can you take this to him, see what he makes of it?
Right away. Harpocrates, do you have the moment?
For you, Clive, always.
Well, actually, it's for mid this time. Could you take a look at this?
Shielding for a mithril engine? Whatever will that girl think of next? And what are these?
She has some specific requirements for the materials, and yet remain cool enough on the outside not to set the ship alight, while also being light, as you can imagine. She's struggling to find anything that meets her needs.
I see.
I wondered if you might know of a solution, or if you might be able to search.
Perhaps. It is not a different material she requires.
What do you mean?
Consider the lake we have made our home. Its blighted waters eat away far more quickly than fresh water or even brine. And yet, we have made a home here from those very...
We have. But Bardolph must varnish every board twice over to keep it from rotting. And Obolus complains that without a constant supply of... I see.
Early Gregorian histories speak of a preparation known as moon dew. It is said to be able to resist even the most ferocious flames. Before the dragoons tamed the worms and wyverns of the realm, nobles would daub their castle walls with it in order to guard against dragonfire.
So if we could recreate it...
It might be applied to some material or other in order to provide the protection Mid requires. As to how best to apply it and to what material, perhaps Bardolph and Obolus might be of assistance. I shall speak to them and see what wisdom they might have to offer. If you would be so kind as to procure the necessary ingredients, I shall discuss the specifics of how it might be most effectively put to use with our two friends. The knowledge of the past may yet prove useful to we of the modern era.
Thank you, Harpocrates. And since you're asking others to help you, perhaps I should too.
So you need a hand, do you?
We do. I'll be heading to market for the ingredients we need. I could do with some help. And some company, too.
The other can assist me in researching how best to prepare the shielding itself.
Can we count on your aid?
Always.
Well, if Jill's game.
Thank you.
I am sure either of these fine young minds would prove indispensable in my research. I leave the decision as to who will go with whom in your capable hands, Clive. So, Clive, have you made your decision? Who will accompany you on your little
Very well. So then, what do we need to find?
I have taken the liberty of preparing a...
White chocobo eggs. Are you sure this list is right? I would have thought the ingredients would be at
Though these items may seem mundane, they have potent, so much so, in fact, that they were harvested almost to extinction. And now, of course, they can be obtained with ease. You should be able to find it.
Is that so? I've been meaning to visit Northreach anyway. I'll set out now. Join me there when you're ready.
I will.
You two enjoy yourself.
Are those Pepio nuts?
How goes the hunt for ingredients?
I've only just started. I'm sure everything we need is somewhere amongst all these Why don't we split up and see? We'll take it.
All right.
how about you look for the Pepio? I'll find the other things we need. We can... Did you find everything?
I did. Here.
Garlic and Pepio nuts. Perfect. Now, all that remains is for Harpocrates to somehow turn all this into what Mid needs to keep her engine cool. But before we head back... Thank you for asking me to help you today. It makes a nice change.
It does. It's good to get away from all the battle and bloodshed for once. Just being here reminds me of when we were children. Do you remember? Walking down Market Street in Rosalith, taking in the sights and smells.
How could I forget? What with Torgal's antics. Remember how his nose would prick up at the scent of sausages? He'd go racing away and we'd have to go running after him. We wouldn't catch you now, would we, boy?
Was there anything you wanted to buy for yourself while we're here?
There was, yes. Well, sort of. Molly in the kitchens told me about a place that sells particularly good pies. Thought you might like to share one with me.
I would. Thank you.
And I saw some bread. Big white cobs like the baker back in Rosalith used to make. What do you think? I thought we might get some soup to dip it in. But then I tried a slice of the butcher's dry-cured ham and it was just... oh!
You all right?
Sorry. It's just... you're right. I really do feel like a child again being here with you. Clive. Is it wrong of me to enjoy this?
No, Jill. This is how life should be. And it's how our lives will be when our work is finally done. When we can live on our own terms.
I hope so. Thank you, Clive. Well, I suppose we better be getting back. I need to give these ingredients to Harpocrates and Talia. I'll see you at the hideaway.
Take care.
I will. You too.
How's work on the shielding progressing, Harpocrates?
Well, very well indeed. And thanks in no small part to your kind assistance. I was just explaining to Talia how we might best go about preparing the moon dew. And now that we have all the ingredients, we may begin.
You can count on me. I've mixed more than a few mysterious concoctions in my time.
I'm sure you have. What about the shielding itself?
Work is underway, under the watchful eyes of Bardolph and Obolus.
Apparently, it'll be ready soon.
Thank you. All of you.
Right then. Jill, would you join me in the infirmary? Many hands make light work and all that.
Of course. Oh, and Clive, thank you. It was nice, just being with you.
It appears our work here is almost at an end. A shame. I was enjoying playing the man of action for once. When both the shielding and the moon dew are ready, It will merely be a matter of applying the one to the other, followed by a rigorous process of testing and retesting, of course. Perhaps someone ought to warn young Mid of that.
Leave it to me. Thank you, Hippocrates. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mid. But you'll be pleased to know that work on the shielding is underway.
You found something for it?
In a manner of speaking, Hippocrates knew of a substance that's highly resistant to heat. A coating that should provide the protection you need. He's supervising the construction and testing of the shielding as we speak.
Brilliant! I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Don't thank me.
Right then, better start working out how to bolt all to the black hammer.
You know, when I got into the smithing game, I thought I'd be making swords and shields, not thermal bleeding didgeridoo-dahs.
Displacement stacks.
Same difference. Whatever you call it, I ain't putting it together in here. It's cramped enough as it is. Let's take this outside. Mid, you get all the parts lined up on the deck. I'll take care of the rest.
On my way.
Oh, and bring me the biggest hammer you can find. This is gonna require some precision walloping.
It's finished! It's finally finished!
Thank fuck for that. I'll be feeling my hammer arm for weeks.
Thank you, Clive, Blackthorn, everyone. That's one down and just 3 more to go.
I'm sorry.
Oh, didn't I tell you? The Enterprise has 4 mithril engines, and we'll be needing a displacement stack for each.
You don't mean...
Don't worry. Now they've got a finished one to work off. My gang in Canva can build the rest.
Good luck to them, I say. Right, I'm off to get a sling for this elbow. Any other work comes in, keep it to yourselves, eh?
What's the matter?
Nothing. Just daydreaming. Thinking about the Enterprise sailing off over the horizon to shores unknown. Searching for a land untouched by the Blight. Just like me and my dad planned. So if the worst came to the worst and every scrap of soil in the Twins turned black, we might still have a chance. That's what she was meant to be. You see, one last chance just in case we needed it. But now she's so close to being finished, I've realized I don't want her to be that. I don't want it to be just a lifeboat for us to cling to if things get desperate. I want people to sail aboard her by choice, not from the lack of it. In a world where we're not just trying to survive, but where we can actually live.
I'm working on that. And I'll do everything I can to get you what you want.
Don't you always? All right. My mind's made up. As soon as the Enterprise is fit to sail, I'm putting her under your command. Sod our plans, I'm trusting in yours.
Are you sure about this?
Something tells me it's what my dad would have wanted.
He'd be proud of you.
You were gonna visit his grave, weren't you?
I was. And you can come too, now that your little project is finished.
Right. There's just one thing I need to finish up first. Won't be a mo.
All right. I'll let Otto know you're coming. Meet us in the mess when you're ready.
Aye, aye, Captain.